All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to do a little investigating. And you know where the crime scene is? It's your own home. Seriously, we're about to pull back the curtain on all these invisible chemicals that have snuck into our daily lives, a lot of the time without us even knowing it.
You know, this quote from Dr. Rhonda Patrick, a biomedical scientist, it just hits the nail on the head. We think of our homes as these safe, cozy havens, right? But what if they're actually ground zero for our exposure to man-made chemicals? I mean, chemicals that can interfere with our bodies in some really, really serious ways.
So we're calling this first part the invisible invasion. And that's exactly what it feels like, doesn't it? It's this quiet, unseen infiltration of chemicals into pretty much everything we use, from the moment we wake up to when we go to bed, from our food to the containers we put it in.
Okay, so the main villains in the story are something called endocrine disruptors. To put it simply, these are man-made chemicals that they mess with our hormones. They can act like our natural hormones, or they can block them, or just generally throw the whole system out of whack. And as you can probably guess, that can lead to some pretty major problems.
So, who are the usual suspects? We're going to zoom in on three big ones. First, there's BPA. You've probably seen those BPA-free labels everywhere. Then you've got phthalates. Those are used to make plastics soft and flexible. And finally, PFS, the infamous forever chemicals that are in all sorts of stain and water-resistant stuff.
Now, let's step into the main crime scene, your kitchen. I know, it sounds dramatic, but this is honestly where our exposure to these chemicals can be the highest, often through things we use every single day to cook and store our food.
All right, first up, let's talk about something you probably handle all the time and never think twice about. Why are those flimsy, shiny paper receipts? Why are they so bad for you to even touch?
The answer is pretty shocking. Those receipts are literally coated in a powder of BPA. That's how they do the thermal printing. And this isn't about eating it. The BPA absorbs straight through your skin on contact. In fact, some studies show that cashiers who are handling these all day long have crazy high levels of BPA in their bodies. Okay, on to our next suspect. You get takeout, right? It probably comes in one of those standard black plastic containers. You get home, you pop it in the microwave. I mean, what's the harm in that?
Well, it turns out there's quite a bit of harm. A lot of that black plastic is actually made from recycled electronics. Yeah, e-waste. That means it can have stuff like flame retardants mixed in, chemicals you really don't want anywhere near your food. And when you heat up that container, or put something hot or acidic in it, those chemicals can leach right into your dinner.
And the list just keeps going. Your nonstick pans, they're a huge source of PFAS. That plastic wrap covering your meat and cheese at the grocery store, it's loaded with phthalates, which are especially drawn to fats. And canned soups, the cans have a plastic lining that's full of BPA, which leaches right into the soup.
So we've identified some of the main culprits hiding in our kitchens, but what are they actually doing to us once they get inside our bodies? Let's take a quick look at the science behind how this all works.
Like we said, these chemicals are endocrine disruptors. They throw a wrench into our body's finely tuned hormonal system. They can block testosterone, they can mimic estrogen, they just disrupt this delicate dance of hormones that's essential for everything from our metabolism to our reproductive health, and especially for development in the womb.
So what's with this number, 50%? This comes from a study on teenage boys. And what it found was that the boys with the highest levels of BPA exposure had 50% lower testosterone levels than the boys with the lowest exposure. I mean, 50%. That is a massive impact during such a crucial time for development.
And the risks we know about are pretty serious. We're talking links to lower testosterone and sperm quality in men, accelerated ovarian aging in women, messed up thyroid function, and even impaired development for a growing fetus. The stakes are really, really high.
Okay, I know that was a lot of pretty heavy information, but the goal here is not to scare you, it's to empower you, because knowing is half the battle, right? So now let's get to the good part, the solution. A simple, step-by-step plan you can use to start detoxing your home today.
We can break this whole thing down into 4 key steps. First, we're going to systematically ditch the plastics in the kitchen. Second, we'll swap out the cookware. Third, it's time to rethink how you handle your drinks and canned goods. And fourth, a super easy one, just go digital with your receipts. So let's talk smart swaps. For your leftovers, instead of plastic containers, switch to glass or stainless steel. Get rid of those black plastic spatulas and spoons and grab ones made of wood or pure silicone. And instead of buying cheese that's wrapped in all that plastic, just buy the block version with less packaging. Simple. Now, for your cookware. That old non-stick pan has got to go. Swap it out for stainless steel or a good old cast iron skillet. Try to avoid canned soups and drinks. Making your own or buying stuff in glass jars is so much better. Even your coffee machine can be a problem. A French press or a simple pour-over is a fantastic alternative.
And hey, if you're wondering if one little change really makes a difference, just look at this chart. Studies have found that eating just one single serving of canned soup can spike the BPA levels in your body by over 1,000%. 1,000. So yeah, making one swap like this can have a massive, massive impact.
And finally, we're back to those pesky receipts. This is honestly the easiest win of them all. Almost every store now asks if you want your receipt emailed. Just say yes. It's that simple. By just not touching that piece of paper, you are cutting out a huge, direct source of BPA.
So we've gone through our investigation. We've looked in the hidden corners of our kitchens. What's the one big thing you should walk away with?
Here's the key takeaway. You are in the driver's seat here. This isn't about being perfect overnight. It's about making small, smart, consistent choices. Every single time you choose a glass container over a plastic one, or you ask for an emailed receipt, you are actively lowering your body's toxic load and building a safer home for yourself.
So you've taken these incredible steps to control your own environment, which is huge. But it does leave you with one final thought, right? What happens the second you step outside your front door? These chemicals are pretty much everywhere, which just goes to show that being aware is our single most powerful tool, both inside our homes and out there in the big wide world.